A personal message. Hello, fellow human. I realize that referring to you as fellow human may seem cold, distant, and/or unemotional, but actually it is the complete opposite. You may have a perception of what those words mean, but your perception may not be completely your own, or based on logic. You are in fact exactly that, a fellow human being. Another earthly creature of unique and grand intellectual and physical capability, who like myself is significantly limited by their subconscious fears and desires. You should take the words fellow human to mean something much more important, connective, thought-provoking, and honest than just what your current perception may allow. The fact that you truly are that, a fellow human being, means something relative to my own life/existence. It means that we share a great deal with one another, even if we've never met, and even if we don't realize it. One of the things that we share, or at least have the potential of sharing, is an understanding of each other, every other fellow human, and ourselves. We have the unique ability to look at something with the purpose of understanding it and very often actually understand it as well, understanding what it is, why it is, and how it works. Everything ticks, but we have the exclusive ability to know what makes it all do so. Our ability to realize so much also allows us to discover the effects of what we've discovered, and how it could affect us. An understanding of something allows us to use it. It allows us to use it to our advantage. In many cases, an understanding of what's there allows us to alter reality in a way that is beneficial to our humanity and individuality. The problem is that we don't automatically care for either one. One of the other traits we share is our ability to never know, to not actually understand, to not utilize the aforementioned trait of obtaining knowledge, or to misunderstand and misuse it in a way that damages and suppresses beneficial aspects of our humanity. Both you and I are capable of obtaining our own knowledge and using that knowledge how we individually and genuinely see fit. We are capable of knowing nothing other than what we are shown and what we show ourselves. Then the culmination of that knowledge translates into our actions. We can partially seek and live by our own knowledge and partially absorb and live by what we are shown. Let's be honest, we are shown a lot. It is unfair to claim that we can exist apart from our surroundings, or even our subconscious. The important thing is to be aware of your external influences, as well as your internal ones, and to only then make a determination of your existence. When we determine what everything is and what everything means without seeing everything, it hurts humanity. That reality is one I want you to recognize with reading this book. However, there is a much more significant one, relatively speaking. You are the reason you should genuinely care about your perspective, knowledge, consciousness, thoughts, instinct, and choices enough to not just see them, but really try to understand and sacrifice for them. That is what this book is about. When I read it, it is about me. When you read it, it is about you. This is the truth, and it is only when we start pretending that it isn't that it really does damage. So read the book if you want. Try and understand where I'm coming from and who I am. Be fair about whatever you think about, and don't underthink any of it. Connect the ideas you get to your life as a person in the world. But no matter how you feel or what you think, don't ever forget that every word, every idea, and every feeling is for you and from you. Ignoring just how much we matter to ourselves is very common among us. I for one have done it nearly my entire life. I did it as a kid. I did it as an adult. And I did it today. You don't have to be honest about how you treat your own existence. You can very simply lie about what's there and why it's important till the day you die. You can pretend that other things are what really matters. You can assume that the secondary effects of your being are the first ones. You can think and do whatever you want that you're capable of. You can go about your day and never even realize your own humanity. But as negative and commonplace as all that is, you can even realize it and never do anything about it. I cannot know for certain whether you fall into one of those two categories or the other one. I surely can't write anything that will change which one you're in. Only one person in the entire universe can know everything about you and what it means. The only thing I can really know, and the only thing this book is really about, is to remind you that if you're not living for who you actually are, your existence will be less significant and less rewarding, possibly not to the world but most certainly to you. This book is in a sense all about perception. It is about looking at what you know, what you believe, what you see, what you've done, what you do, what you're going to do, and what you live for, in order to understand it and weigh how true it really is. In other words, it's about attempting to gain a more meaningful, honest, and progressive knowledge of who you are as a fellow human being. It's about making yourself a priority by understanding and creating a gap between living as a social being and your existence itself. It is about knowing you as another person, and you as an individual, and letting them exist how you and you alone genuinely see fit. It is about realizing that power we all possess which allows us to live in such a way, and that the same power much more easily limits us instead. I'd like to thank you for opening the book. Hopefully you will stick through until the end. Those of you who read often and enjoy it may not have a problem, but I am one of those lazy readers, people, so I know how challenging it can be to care about and finish an entire book. Reading the book isn't the hard part. It is truly considering the words enough to translate them into utilized ideas. It is all too easy to absorb information, and even think without implementing what you find to your personal existence. It is even easier to absorb it and never think. And it is still easier to not absorb it at all. Whether it helps or not, let me tell you that this book and the author are very similar. Whether you'll be able to get a sense of it or not, when you read this book, you are very much getting to know a lot about who I truly am. I am conflicted on whether or not this is a good thing, however, because this book is not about me. At least it shouldn't be for anyone other than me. The goal of this book, if there has to be one, is to relate. For one human to share ideas that other humans can understand and compare to their thoughts and lives. Hopefully, you will relate to this book, not so much because it means you'll be relating to me, but because if you do so you are relating to you. As good as it would make me feel to realize the core mutual connection between us, I have nothing to do with this book from any perspective other than my own. I cannot take advantage of our connection directly through a book. However, with or without a book, I can always take advantage of an even more important relationship. And so can you. There is nothing more important to our existence than our relations. Our relationship to one another and everything else is far more important and genuine than we often realize. However, our relationship to ourselves is more meaningful than anything else. The effects of understanding and honoring ourselves include but surely are not limited to improving all exterior relations as well. Based upon my understanding of our human history and present state, I believe that relating to one another and ourselves in this purely human way is an idea and practice that simply was never honored on a significant scale. We don't consider our relations accurately because of part of the same humanity, which I want people to come to greater recognition of. This book is one tiny, probably insignificant human individual's consideration. How you consider what you do and what you do with what you show yourself is a different story, however. As strange as it sounds, throughout the book and even when you put it down, you should keep this idea of your relationship with yourself fresh in your head. Remember who you are truly reading it for. Remember that this is the being that matters most to you. And remember that this is not only okay and natural but wonderful as well.